Hi, I'm Eric Arnold, news editor at Wine Spectator. Today we're at Chanterelle, one of New York City's best restaurants, where a bunch of Bordeaux producers from the right bank are pouring barrel samples from the 2006 vintage. Now this is something that they very rarely do, especially this early after a vintage, but we're going to talk to some of them and get their impressions of what they're seeing in terms of quality. This is, I understand, one of the first times that that the right bank, or really anybody from Bordeaux, has come to New York and done a barrel tasting like this so early. Why did you feel the need to do something like that?
Because I have heard too many rumors telling that 2006 was a missed vintage. And the right bank of the Bordeaux River, Dordogne and Gironde is characteristic by a big amount of Merlot ripens very early, much more than the Cabernet, and which is so good that we think it is a very good vintage.
Now we're going to talk to Jean-Luc Finneven, who is the owner and winemaker at Chateau Valentin.
Je crois qu'ils sont tous très heureux.
And they're all very pleased with the wines.
C'est la première fois qu'on a l'idée de leur faire goûter, comme à des vrais professionnels, un millésime 2006, c'est-à-dire en primeur. Ça, c'était très bonne idée d'Alain Reynaud.
It's the very first time people get to taste these wines so early, as they're all barrel samples.
Et Bordeaux est devenu sexy.
And Bordeaux has become sexy.
What do you think will happen with the prices of the wines, especially with futures?
C'est-à-dire des baisses de 30%.
A decrease of 30%, or roughly around 30%.
Par rapport à 2005.
Compared to 2005.
How are people reacting to the 2006 barrel samples that they're tasting today?
Well, so far it seems to react pretty well. They seem very interested. You see there is a lot of people around, and which is very nice for us. I think people will be happy and will enjoy the bottle. It's more maybe going to be a wine that people will enjoy drinking instead of keeping it forever in their cellar.
What are your impressions of what you're tasting so far today?
Balance would be the right word. I enjoyed the 2006 so far because the wine seems to have the good acidity, the good freshness, and a lot of fruit into it. Very good texture into the mouth, but the wines are young. We have to realize that the wines have been barreled for only a couple of months. So are the wines that we're tasting today will be the final blend? That we do not know, because winemakers are there and they are indeed proposing us something that is going to be an image of what the wines will be at the end. That's one thing. But after another 8-10 months in barrels, they're going to be completely different. So today we are really tasting in a technical way the 2006 vintage. But so far, I'm impressed by the vintage.
So far, I've been overly impressed with what I've had. I know everything's young, very, very tight in flavor. But if you let it open up a little bit and you hold it for several years from now, I honestly think you're going to end up with wonderful wines.
Is this sort of tasting the kind of thing you'll do more of in the future? Will you come back again next year?
Yeah, it is a try that we make today in New York, as we have done in London, Zurich and Brussels. And we must consider it is a success for our first try. We are an old world, but we have to use a new way of communication.
That's it from Chanterelle here in New York, where the right bank producers were pouring barrel samples of their 2006 wines. Hope you learned a lot about what you might be seeing in the bottle and what it might cost.